Welcome to Chasing Gold, the 2025 Black Canyon edition. I'm your host, Schuyler Hall, bringing you along with a bunch of top podium contenders for this year's race that you can follow along live here on the Mountain Outpost channel. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button below, hit that bell. You'll get the notification when the live stream pops up on February 8th for this Black Canyon edition. Our guest right now is no stranger to this course, no stranger to phenomenal hair products. Tim Tollefson, how are you doing, sir?
Dude, I'm doing wonderful. No complaints from the east side coming out today. It's a beautiful sunny day after a snowstorm, so things are good.
So, it's good to hear that things are good. Looking at your training, going through the Strava, you have one of the prettiest upward trajectory graphs on recent training volume. So we will get into that and dig into how you're preparing for Black Canyon. But I have to start off with our opener question. So I want you to put on your imagination hat. It's contract season. You find yourself in the elevator with the head of your dream brand. They could be running, non-running, whatever your dream brand is. What is your 30-second elevator pitch on why they should bet on you for 2025 and beyond?
Do you have to say who my brand is?
No.
Well, it's a kind of a gimme. It would be Herbal Essence, and I would just say, hey, like, there is nobody in this sport that's going to rep your product better than me. Like, right here, come on, let's get after it. We could take out billboards across the country. We could have so much good content. I'll probably lose every race, but we're going to win the hair game. And there's no reason that you wouldn't want to just pour your entire marketing budget into this one person with this beautiful hair. So let's go.
All right. So let's just ask the science question. Okay. The hair is beautiful. Is it putting you at an aerodynamic disadvantage while you're out there on course?
Absolutely. But there's something that myself, close friends, and the community that we're building of people with great hair live and die by is that we're not the fastest, but we're definitely the best looking. And I would rather finish outside the podium and still have, the flowing locks than have course records and cougars to my name.
Well, listen, we're not going to say that those are mutually exclusive. You may still have some golden tickets and podiums and cougars in your future. You have been to Western States twice. Obviously, you had that 5th place finish back in 2021. That sort of is the high point. But you've also had some phenomenal results throughout the years, including last year here at Black Canyon. You finished in 11th place, 8 hours and 6 minutes on course. Why are you coming back to Black Canyon? Like, what do you have left in terms of unfinished business? Are you trying to get this golden ticket? Do you just love the course and the competition? What's drawing you back?
Aside from just hanging out with all my Aravaipa buddies and the Mountain Outpost crew, I'm here for one reason, and that's gold. And that's the only thing pulling me back.
So you've built this empire called Weight Watchers, right? So anybody who's been following Western States and the lottery knows that last year you sort of had this journey of watching the wait list and trying to come off. Obviously, you did not get into the race. You were a part of the lottery this year and really built up all the waitlisters onto this podium, and we got to celebrate them. The fact that you're at Black Canyon going for this golden ticket, does that just ruin all of Weight Watchers? Are you sort of pulling from your own brand? How do you square that up?
I haven't given that much thought, so maybe I'll have to reconcile with whatever the aftermath of Fallout happens on February 9th. But right now, I'm okay with it. I'm not losing sleep. My fellow Weight Watchers, I think, are with me in spirit, and they're pulling for me. So it's I just have to hit send.
Totally get that. And you have been hitting send on the training. As I mentioned earlier, that graph is one of the prettiest upward trajectories that I've seen leading up to Black Canyon. Talk to me about this training block. How's it been going? Are there any moments that you've had where you're like, I am ready for Black Canyon? It really flipped the switch and sort of given you some confidence? Just walk us through it, since you've been very active on the streets of Mammoth Lakes.
Well, if I kind of zoom back even further, I've had probably the best 12 months of training I've had in, the most recent years of my career, which gives me a lot of confidence. And thinking back to 2023, 2024 Black Canyon, I was coming into that a little, coming off of a long string of injuries and was only able to run 6 days a week. So it's been nice to kind of string together those, seveners again. And um, I would say that, one run in particular, my buddy Costalis and I were out in southern Utah and we had a 30-mile shred. And afterwards, he looked at me and he said, "Dude, we did some work. This was better than my prep before his victory in 2023. Would that have been when he got his
Mhm.
golden ticket?" So I think that kind of gave us both confidence that if anyone's sleeping on the Chico boys, they're going to lose their house. So I'll just throw that out there right now.
I love that. I love that confidence that you're bringing to the line. Talk to me a little bit more about that partnership that you have with Anthony, and obviously, like, the Chico roots run deep for you. Chico State, obviously, being one of the preeminent D2 programs in the country. But like, you guys did some work. Actually, I mentioned Mammoth earlier, but you've been traveling around for training camps. Talk to us about just that ecosystem you built during this training block.
Well, I think something that like Anthony and I definitely share is just sort of this blue collar chip to us where we're always out to prove something to someone. And, we kind of pride ourselves in being gritty and not necessarily the most talented, but we're too stubborn to give up. And I think that's something that's bred at Chico State with all of the runners. It's, you know, no one, uh, no one comes from like the pedigree that you dream about or that you read about, but we kind of are a ragtag group that just stack hours and show up, and over the course of seasons and years it starts to pay off. And so I had the opportunity to get out of the winter for a bit, and we hung out in southern Utah, Lindsay and I, and was able to shred with Costalis, our other buddy Jimmy Elam, and some other people. So it was a really good block where something I learned also from it is that the miles in the desert are not easy. They beat you up, but it's something that Costalis and I talked about where once you get through a training block healthy, I think the path into the desert for a race like this, you're better suited than if you're just coming straight from the mountains. So I'm drawing a lot of confidence from that, but also it was just an enjoyable, fun block.
Hey, you got to be in the right headspace coming into a race to be able to enjoy it. And we know you for being just a good spirited individual. So you mentioned stack hours, which leads me perfectly into the next question I want to ask you. You put up this Instagram story a little bit ago, and I just want to just read the caption in totality and get your thoughts as to what led you to post this up. So in this Instagram post, you put, "Everyone gets dropped. Be kind to yourself. Believe in yourself. Bet on yourself. Be a Netflix show, not a billboard. Own your story. Focus on craft. Say yes. Know your value. Stack hours. Show up." Great message. Uh, what led you to post that? What even put you in the mindset to be thinking about such things?
Coming into the new year, it's just a powerful reminder to us all that seasons and contracts and relationships may end, but that's not a reflection of you as a person. And I think especially we've seen a lot of this recently, just with athletes going through the struggles or hardships of navigating contract season, and having been there myself and been on the losing end, or on the receiving end of something you didn't want. It can be difficult. So I felt like it was just sort of a powerful thing to throw out there into the interwebs, just to remind people self that yeah, be kind to yourself, because no one is going to kind of ride off into the sunset the way you might think so. And it doesn't mean that you can't keep chasing your dreams. I really think that you know sponsorships or contracts, they should help you unlock the dream, but they are not the dream themselves.
I want to sort of play with that a little bit. There's been this notion, especially now that you have taken on Trail Fest, which has been a preeminent trail running festival in your hometown of Mammoth Lakes the past several years. And you've built up this community and you've brought people into it. Some folks, some of your competitors even may have thought that, your best running days were behind you. So how do you square up sort of what you just talked about with this notion of, the race director and the athlete and the community builder? Like, how are you splitting that pie up?
I don't necessarily split it up. I think they all elevate and lift each other. So it's like the more I pour into the community around Trailfest, the more excited I get about my own, dreams that I'm chasing, because I get to watch other people unlock and realize their potential. And so I think that really it's like I don't view them as different hats that I'm wearing. I think they're really just, you know, they are all part of what make me the current version of Tim. And I I love the fact that, well, I don't love the fact, but I think it's going to be neat when I do finally get my day that I'm chasing, because it's been a couple of years since I've had one, and it's going to just really be sweet. Because after you've gone through that sour patch, it's it tastes so much better when you actually nail it. So I feel like I have the day coming. It's on the horizon, and I am going to keep chasing it because it's kind of, the joy of all of this. Nothing's guaranteed, but it's something that I keep going after.
So the rumors that you are washed up are incorrect.
Well, no, I think I'm washed up, but I'm ready to throw the kids into the deep end. And so I hope they're ready to swim.
Let's go. Okay, good. I just want to figure out what level of competition you're bringing when the gun goes off at Black Canyon. So thinking about Black Canyon specifically, is there something that you are keying off of as you prepare for this race? Are you looking at, you want to be in the first group? Are you looking at specific splits that you're looking to hit? What's going to be guiding your race strategy as you toe the line and venture on down the course?
Last year was a really good learning opportunity, but painful, albeit painful, in that like I went in with kind of an idea in my head of 8 hours, 8:05 would get a ticket, and I fell asleep at the wheel. And by the time I woke up, the race was over. And so this year, I really plan on just sticking on the pack, doing absolutely zero work, and just hammering it to the finish. So whatever that looks like, but I'm not going to let anyone get away.
I'm interested in this the notion of letting folks get away. How much do you think you can let folks physically get away from you? Do you think you can spot a couple of minutes anymore? Or do you think that the pack has to properly stay together? How have you seen racing dynamics change over the past several years, and how are you planning to adapt as you take on Black Canyon?
Dude, it's changed so much, even just in the last 2 years. My buddy Rod and I talk about this quite a bit, and really, in the past, you would be able to kind of come from behind and make a podium or maybe even sneak in for the title. But I'm pretty confident those days are over. I think running is kind of approaching that almost cycling mindset of if the pack is gone, you're not going to make up the difference, because there are too many strong runners. There's too much talent in the sport right now, and it's too deep that even if the pack sort of disintegrates, there are enough people that someone, or at least three people, will stick it out of there. So I don't think we're going to see many of those come from behind victories anymore that we saw even 3 to 5 years ago. I really think that's over. And I think that goes for almost every distance in our sport. We're even seeing that with the 200-mile distance. I think that the days of, coming from 70th, 80th place at Cocodona and then winning is not going to happen. I think that you got to be with a pack. And depending on the course, like something like Black Canyon, where so roller coastery and windy. I think that if you spot too much, you're going to be left out.
So thinking about yourself 5 years ago, right? Because you've been in the sport for a while. You've been putting up impressive results for quite some time. If you were to talk to yourself in 2020 with the benefit of the hindsight that you now have, what would you tell? What piece of advice would you give yourself to fast track the progression of yourself as an athlete and then the sport as a whole?
Ooh. Um, you know, I would have encouraged myself as a younger athlete to take more chances. I always wanted to play it safe and just like what I just described in that last part about coming from behind, second half, best half, that's really what I adhered to. And I wish I'd taken more shots. I wish I had risked failure more. I wish I had gone out and been okay with blowing up. I wish I would have done some of those. And so I would have recommended, to the 2020 version to not be afraid to like stick my hand in the fire and see how long I can take it. And if it's not that day, come back and do it again. Yeah, I think I just would have been more risky.
Hey, you have clearly taken risks yourself over the past 5 years. So we thank you for it because it's been incredible to watch you as a competitor, as a community builder, and as a race director. And we're looking forward to seeing you do it at the 2025 Black Canyon. We got the quick mix, 5 fast hitting questions here to wrap us up. Mr. Tollefson, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Question number 1. Obviously, craft sponsored athlete. What shoe are you going to be rocking at Black Canyon?
I'm rocking the Nordlight Ultra.
All right. Number 2, because we need more hype in trail running, what is your walkout song?
Ooh, anything by Carly Rae.
I'm going to need you to drill down. That is a
Okay.
sweet, sweet catalog.
It's so hard to pick a bit, like every single one's a banger. Dude, I don't know. I honestly, Schuyler, I can't. You choose for me. You're the DJ. Like, what fits my personality the best? What would you say?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good question. Fits your personality. I really like you. I think just has the best
Oh, you do like me? Thank you.
that baseline. I think that
Yeah.
would get you vibing. So
All right, it's settled.
we'll get you dancing. All right, number 3. We're turning Black Canyon into a 2-person relay. All right, so just think like 3-legged race style. Which of your competitors are you tying yourself to?
Pistolas.
Valid. That makes perfect sense. Number 4, you have an unlimited budget for a month-long training camp. Where are you headed and why?
Mammoth Lakes, California is the greatest training grounds in the country. It always has been, dating back to Dina and Meb and Paul's. We're bringing it back. This is the place. This is hallowed ground. Everyone should be in Mammoth.
I'm happy we just cut a promo for your Mammoth Trail Fest
Shots
2025
fired.
as well.
Salt Lake, come at me.
And
Flagstaff, let's go. Come on.
stirring the pot, and I love it. Last question for you. Obviously, this live stream for the race is going to be up here on the Mountain Outpost channel, which, spoiler alert, if you hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell, you'll get a notification when we go live on February 8th. But Tim, what emoji do you want your supporters to just spam the live chat with to show you love while you're out there on course?
The Mammoth.
That tracks. Awesome. So we expect to see a whole host of mammoths just all over the live chat on February 8th as Tim and all of his competitors and a few hundred of his closest friends head on down the 100K course. Tim Tollefson, thank you for joining us here on Chasing Gold. Any last things you want to leave our guests with?
Oh, yes. Actually, I have a request. Maybe it's not for the guests, but should we delay the start, can you text me so I'm not sitting in a porta potty like last year for a couple hours during that snowstorm? I would appreciate that. That would be cool. Thank you.
We will get you a body man to just like knock on the porta potty for you if we get to that point.
Or at least put like a heater in the porta potty. That would be good.
Might cause some issues with smells, but like my people will call your people. We'll figure that one out. Oh, Tim Tollefson, always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank your hair. And thank you for just making the journey down to Black Canyon one more time to get weird with us in a few days' time. And make sure you all at home are getting weird with us as well in the live stream, as I mentioned, here on the Mountain Outpost channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. Otherwise, this has been Chasing Gold. I've been Schuyler Hall, and we'll catch you guys next time.